That is the start of my entire day right now. Trust me, like that energy. I'm about to go over here and hike and shit. I hope I don't lose you. I might lose service or whatever, but I'm gonna let you go anyway. Either way, the point is, you know what I'm saying? You got me thinking about my energy and what I bring to the table when I deal with folks. Because I was just talking last night to Christian about the idea, like, you know, picking and choosing our battles. Sometimes I'm always so quick to, like, fight for justice, fight for what's right. And sometimes it's like, yeah, the way you can fight it is by protecting your own energy, you know?
For sure, man. For sure. Like, nah, that's a valid point, bro. Because, I mean, you know, it is very draining. It is very draining, but you know, to much is given, much is tested. I feel like as leaders, we have to encounter that stuff because a lot of people don't want to encounter it, you know?
Yeah.
And like the reason nothing gets done is because people are avoiding it.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Man, not that I like these Trumpers, but honestly, bro, like that's a perspective that you know, that might change that guy's opinion about some shit, you know? Like, damn, this motherfucker, he's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, you never know. You just literally never know. You know what I'm saying?
You know? And I think that's the only way that this fucking world can probably become better, bro. Just like one person at a time. And honestly, like this sales shit, like, you know, the key is just being myself for real. I don't know what the fuck people like, but I'm like, fuck it, we'll figure it out together.
Absolutely. Whenever I come back, bro, one of these days, I actually want to make a little. Ooh, nobody up here today. Yes. Sorry. I want to make a little YouTube video with you, just to kind of get your philosophy on like things, bro. Like you have a very deep insight on life, in a different perspective from a lot of people. I think it'll be dope to do a shit.
For sure. I would love to do that, man. That would be fucking awesome.
Just can't pay you.
No, it's cool, man. I do it for free.
I buy you lunch, nigga. We do it that way.
Hey, I'm with that. I'm with that, man.
No doubt.
Yeah, bro.
Well, shoot, I'm about to get to this hike, man. I love you, bro.
I love you too, man. Stay safe out there.
All right, you know it. Peace.
All right, peace.
That's my best friend, Kevin, man. He's just a special dude, man. Very, very unique. Very insightful, extremely good dude. There's no other way I can say it. Just a very big heart, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, about to get to this hike. I dropped Helena at the gym this morning because she prefers to stick to her routine, which I appreciate, you know what I'm saying? We don't always have to do the exact same workouts and everything like that, but as long as we're both staying active, we keep each other accountable to, you know, keep going and everything like that. Kevin is somebody who really doesn't let smaller situations get to him very often. You know what I mean? He used to be like a hothead. And he just matured so much, you know? There we go. It's on us. Well, the question is, how I do this without messing this up? Because this might be gross. Here we go. That should be good enough. All right, let's get to it. All right, so we are here, leaving the parking lot, and about to start on one of my favorite little hikes. I think it's called the Fern Canyon Trail or something like that. I'm gonna say this to start. I think one of the weirdest things about this whole idea of vlogging and stuff is feeling like you're talking to yourself. Here I am in public, people walk by or whatever, and I'm holding this thing out in front of me talking. Feel like I belong in a nut house. Ugh, look at this. That's all horse shit. And nasty. Anyway, feel a little crazy talking to yourself, but I think there's a bigger purpose to this somewhere, you know? I feel like I live a very humble life, you know, based off of some of the things that I've learned growing up and coming from where I come from. I think we grew up like more upper middle class, or I'm sorry, lower middle class, really. Nowhere close to upper class. Lower middle class, but probably closer to poor. But I never thought of us as poor growing up. And I always say I never thought we were poor because we had cable. You know, I'm like, you can't be poor and have cable. You know, my parents used to go to concerts like Earth, Wind and Fire and Isley Brothers and Delphonics and whoever, you know, just random different joints, you know what I'm saying? I always thought of that as being something of privilege, but I think my parents never lost their way in terms of just holding on to their sanity, actively making a choice to go out together. In situations where, you know, you got 3 kids and you get busy with work every day and you might not always prioritize time just for yourselves. I think they did their best, you know, even though my parents didn't stay together or nothing like that, but you know, they did their best while they were together to try to make some time to do things for themselves too, you know. But they learned how to live humbly and make it work with what they had, you know. I think that's kind of a place that I'm in right now where I notice a lot of shit just works out how it's supposed to. I might not be the richest person in the world, but you know, I make things work with what I got. And quite frankly, I be financially struggling a lot. I'm trying to become more financially literate. I'm trying to be in a position where I'm more financially stable. But even with that in mind, I never lack for much, you know? I always have exactly what I need, and for that I'm really grateful. Ironically, starting already. Camera can't even do justice to how steep this feels. But we continue on anyway. I was saying that, ironically, what me and Kevin was talking about was this idea of not necessarily letting other people's energy affect yours, you know? Same way that, you know, we can have differences of opinion, differences of morality and views, all of that, you know? But at the end of the day, I'm only responsible for myself. I have this thing where more recently, I've been trying to get back to this place of what I call toxic optimism. Back when I used to live in New York, I was extremely, extremely optimistic in probably what you would consider a toxic way, you know? Anything was going wrong. It's okay, it'll work out. Rent not paid. Well, I guess I just have to move home. Something breaks on me. I'll get another one. God'll figure it out. It's like the law of attraction, you know? I learned the law of attraction at first from one of my ex-girlfriends, and then from a couple of books, things of that nature. Whew. And I feel like it's been really useful for me in my growth to lean into toxic optimism in that kind of way. Morning. So I feel like when it comes down to it, we all have to do whatever aligns with what we need for our growth, you know? And everybody's human, so everybody reacts in different ways, obviously. But sometimes when people are at their lowest or consistently having to deal with the hardship of their situations, we say they're negative, but it's like, you know, or pessimistic. How long can you bend before you break, you know? With empathy, I think we get an opportunity to look into other people's situations, imagine how they would feel, put our own thoughts, views, and outlooks secondary, and say, I feel for you. Oop, almost dropped my towel. We be having these like very straightforward ways of thinking, where it's like I can only see things from my perspective. And I think from a political standpoint, which is where I don't want this channel to ever really go, that's how we get stuck in our ways. That's the root of racism, that's the root of sexism, that's the root of all these different things, classisms, ageisms, all the isms. Being able to see only from one perspective and how things affect us directly. Sometimes the crux of all of that shit is being able to look outside of yourself and being able to listen, having an ear, having a heart for other people's circumstances, outlooks, situations, and then in holding space for them, hoping that they'll also hold space for you in the same type of way. We understand that doesn't always have to happen. Most people listen to respond rather than listening to receive. And, you know, if they don't hold that same space for you, you understand for the future, well, maybe you're not for me. Maybe that's not my or you shouldn't be the person I expect to hold space for me and to change things, you know?
we're never going to change any type of systemic stuff. It's one person at a time. And that's what I was talking about with Kevin, because we don't agree on shit. I think we do now as we're much older. When we was much younger, we didn't really agree on a lot of things, and it was okay because it was beautiful to share different views on things, you know? Morning. So I feel like you need people who challenge you. When I was back home for almost a month and a half dealing with everything relating to my father's funeral, I stayed at Kevin's crib for almost a month and a half. These are reasons I say he's just a really good dude. No specified date, had no clue how long it was gonna be. He was like, whatever you need, bro. Crashed right on his couch for a month and a half while I dealt with funeral stuff, you know? And in that time period that I was there, he was letting me know that, you know, he appreciates my company. Whereas I was thinking I was a burden being there. He said, you know, it's really special to be able to engage in conversations that challenge you, because we don't agree on everything all the same, right? But with me and Kevin, we never come at each other from standpoint of, you know, I'm right, you're wrong, you need to hear my side. It's more so, I get that, but have you ever thought of this? Or, I understand, but is that limiting, you know? And we do that with everything, you know? We do that as it relates to politics, as it relates to women, as it relates to career growth, as it relates to spiritual growth. That's what a best friend is supposed to do. Challenge your thinking, challenge your growth, encourage your growth, and support you being the best version of yourself. And you do the same for them, vice versa, because that's the only way we're gonna grow. That's what he was saying on the phone, you know? One person at a time, someone's perspective might change. I asked him what type of videos I should make for this channel. And one of the things he was talking about was how to stay positive. He said, I think you do a really good job of just staying positive through everything. He said, where does that come from? How? Why? You know, where did you pick it up from? Was it your parents? Was it circumstance? And that really made me think, because I don't think I've ever really taken the time to unpack that. Now, at 34 years old, as I take more time, I'm in therapy and I've lived a lot of different lives all in one, you know? It makes me think, and I'm like, damn, how did I become so positive? And I think there's a few different core things as I unpack them in real time, right? Number one, I think is spirituality. Like I said, my family is very spiritual. Some of my family is religious. We're definitely all very spiritual. We're very accepting. We're very open-minded to different ways of thinking. With that, I feel like when you have that level of open-mindedness and you see the best in people, it's very easy to stay positive. Always choosing to try to see the good in something. The other part of that, number two, might be a product of circumstance, right? When you do grow up without as much, and I'm not trying to make myself sound like the poorest nigga on the block, because I wasn't, not by far. I know people who are struggling way worse than me. But when you are in a product of circumstance, you have to find the good in stuff, you know? If I'm being honest, you know, my parents loved the shit out of me. I know that for a fact. But they was dealing with their own shit by the time I was in high school, and there was a lot of family breaking up type stuff, and, you know, a lot of beef in the house, and teenage angst, all these kind of things. And I remember making a definitive and distinctive choice at like 16 that I wasn't gonna cry. I was like, I got enough reasons to cry in the house. I'm not about to go cry in the world too. So I remember sometimes an argument would be happening in the house, or it's tension or whatever. I got to a point where I used to just leave for school super early in the morning, you know? Didn't have to be to school until like 7:45 a.m. I used to leave like 5:45, take my time, walk really slow, pop in my iPod, and I used to just walk, listen to music, decompress. Those were some of my best times, time spent with myself to reflect, think about, you know, anything other than what was going on at home. So that reset my energy. And by the time I would get to school, you know, didn't matter what was going on or what people might have had going on or anybody trying to fake bully you or anything like that. Good morning. But, you know, I had a different approach. It was like, I'm gonna be happy. So I was a very smiley, bubbly teenager. You know, the age when most people was trying to seem hard. And I remember when I was in high school, everybody was on Lil Wayne and Dipset, all crazy. That's all they gave a fuck about. Everybody wanted to be a gangster, or they wanted to seem fresh, seem cool, whatever. Social acceptance mechanisms. Meanwhile, I'm wearing Invader Zim and Dragon Ball Z and smiley face t-shirts, and I'm just goofy, bubbly. Granted, I thought I was a loser. And come to find out from a lot of people in passing and hindsight, a lot of people thought I was actually popular. I never understood that because, you know, to me, I see the conflicted relationship I have with sports and football and the jock mentality and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? I see the conflicted relationship I have with people just being mean, right? Wanting to fry niggas up all the time, joking on niggas, making you feel terrible about yourself. In hindsight, the empathy says, well, maybe you had something going on that you didn't feel the best about yourself, so you wanted to pass that energy, so we didn't have to focus on you, you know? Either way, didn't matter. In those moments, I was choosing to stay positive because I was looking at the bigger picture, you know? I was looking at the bigger picture of what actually really mattered versus what didn't. And to me, being out of the house was like an escape at that time period. So maybe a circumstance. I think the third thing is recognizing, just like I said about like someone who might have been joking on somebody all crazy, got them feeling low like a comedian, you know. You don't even want to be looked at in the room because niggas getting on your shoes so bad, or your hair, or the way you built your body, whatever the fuck, all types of shaming type shit. And you know, I think about how fortunate we are to be dealing with very first world problems, as my ex used to call them. You know, these are first world problems. You know, I'm blessed to have a beautiful loft apartment, a beautiful girlfriend, beautiful friend groups that I've created as I've gone along over the years, you know what I'm saying? Beautiful family dynamic, even with all the little ghetto shit that's going on from time to time. Just beautiful everything, you know what I'm saying? It's when you look at what you have versus having resentment for what you don't, it's the start of a different approach in your mindset. And I feel personally as though that's setting an intention with the universe to let God, the creator, the universe, your ancestors, whatever you believe in, know that I can do with what I have, and I'm ready to receive more. I'm deserving of the abundance, and respectfully, I'm ready for that abundance when you say it's time. But for now, I'm gonna make do with what I got, and thank you. You know, that is subjective. Everybody has a different perspective. Some people feel like you can put your circumstances in your own hands. You can create your own luck. All these different kind of things. Most recently, this leads me to the biggest lesson I've been learning, which is about control, surrendering, you know? We have to relinquish control. That's what I learned through my father's death more than anything, was learning how to surrender and relinquish control, because we have no control, you know? That helps me to stay positive, because when I think I'm in control like I have most of my life, you fight extra hard to make a circumstance work out, and you grind till 2 a.m. to make sure that you in position to make a deal happen, and you try to go to every networking event, you try to get on to every opportunity, and in truth, shit not gonna crack until it's meant for you. What's for you will never miss you. When it's your time, it's your time. Nothing can take that away from you. Because based on my belief system, I'm not putting it on nobody else, but for what I believe, it's already preordained, you know? So there are no losses, there's only lessons. But it's perception, you know? My man Brandon, he's one of me and Kevin's other best friends, you know? All went to high school together. The way we look at things, he used to always say, you got glass half full or glass half empty. If I had this water bottle and it was half full right now, what would it look like? And if I had that same water bottle and it was half empty, what would it look like? You know? It's the same. Whew. Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, it's the same amount. The only difference is our perception of that glass, right? So gratitude I could look and have all of these views about where I am in life and what I'm doing and have resentment, or I could be grateful for all that I have done and all that I've achieved and all that's on the way. But perception is everything, you know? And I think what helps keep me grounded and positive is my understanding of my situation and the perception of that situation, you know? Life is long, not short. Time is not running out. Time is just getting started. 34 is young, not old. You know, the things that I can control are my mindset, my health, which is why I'm out here hiking in a sauna suit, literally dying, you know, sweating my ass off. But it's because I understand that what I do with my body now at 34 will be how I feel at 40. Nigga, I don't got no kids yet. And I'm not trying to be no old ass dad, you dig? I don't know, I think between all of these different pillars, these different core concepts of morality as it relates to thinking and perception of, you know, positivity and how to stay positive and, you know, how we engage with the world around us, the biggest takeaway is, are you walking in a path that feels aligned with God? And better yet, for the sake of not making this political or religious or spiritual, right? Let's take God out of it. Do you feel aligned with walking in a path that feels as though you are growing into the best version of yourself? Everybody has a conscience, you know? There's some people who may say, to be the best version of myself, I gotta buck back. So I gotta stand my ground. I gotta make sure that I'm heard, seen, it's assertive, you know? And you're gonna respect me. That may stem from a place of growing up in a way that you didn't feel respected. Maybe that's a trauma response. Or maybe you're spot on, right? Maybe you really have taken too much for too long and you gotta shake up the algorithm. Nobody can judge your journey but you. But the question is, are you led in your journey by ego? Or are you led in your journey by spirit, by what you feel on the inside? Because everybody has their own basis of what right is and what wrong is. Find a way to stay positive, and positivity is subjective, so, you know, whatever that means to you, but the journey should be to continue to grow. I don't even know what I'm gonna call this video. I should say a walk and talk. Come with me to walk and talk. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. But I guess I'm one of those now, so yeah. I'm gonna finish this hike up. I'm gonna finish listening to this book. Book recommendation, The Anxious Generation. I forgot who it's by, so I gotta let y'all know. I be listening to audiobooks, but I'll link it whenever I finish up with this. I've made it. Made it to the top. I'm gross. I look nasty, sweaty, but here it is. That is the great outdoors. Good hike for today. Believe it or not, I usually would go all the way up there. All the way up there, but I need to have some energy today. Sometimes taking the hike all the way up to the top will really burn you out in a way that you find yourself unable to function for the rest of the day. Legs hurting, whole body hurting, you sitting in front of the computer, falling asleep. I'm not trying to do that today. So I think I'm just gonna knock out some push-ups and sit-ups. I do a jail workout that my man taught me, burnout with the push-ups. You do 10 push-ups, wait 10 seconds, 9 push-ups, 9 seconds, 8 push-ups, 8 seconds, all the way down to 1. And then I do crunches. So I think I'm gonna do some of those for today, call it a day, and head back so I can pick up Helena from the gym. But yeah, good workout all the same. All we need is that 10,000 steps, you know? I'm not no fitness influencer. I'm just trying to change my life. My daddy had high blood pressure and then end up having a stroke and everything else. 2 strokes, you know. I have high blood pressure. I'm trying to reverse that right now. You know what I mean? I want to get off of medicine. I feel like I'm close with the way I've been working. I've been losing a lot of weight, you know. So trying to stick to that, make that my mission, and just try to do a little bit every day. 10,000 steps is all you need. Do that consistently. It's not about it happening overnight, but you just keep watching it happening. You know, watch what you eat. Next thing you know, your life look different. So that's where I'm at with it. Let's knock them out. Ground hot as hell. Ooh. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We could do it. All right, fuck. Not gonna lie, that was hard. It's always hard. I'm waiting to the point where that gets a little easier, because once that gets easier, you gotta jump it up to 15. But I'm nowhere close to that right now, so I'm gonna appreciate what I got, which is this 10. Shit. Funny thing is, I had to learn that working out wasn't necessarily supposed to feel fun. It's just supposed to feel gratifying. One thing that I learned from my father having a stroke, or 2 strokes, is that it's a privilege to use your body, you know? Your body can do so many things. You ever seen niggas who be doing parkour and shit like that? The flexible yoga girls, Pilates girls, how far they can extend their body and contort their body. Shit, strippers, crazy. It's a blessing to be able to have full functionality of your body. I think we take it for granted too often, you know? And if you don't use it, you lose it. And for black folks, unfortunately, that's what we've seen happen to too many of our elders, you know? Not by choices of their own, sometimes, but sometimes it's just being a byproduct of circumstance, you know? But gotta use our body. Gotta use our body before we can't no more, you know? All right, crunches and we out. I still can't get over the feeling of feeling weird when people walk past me recording myself. But that's why I'm forcing myself to do it, so I can get used to it. Anyway, I'm done. I did it. It's done. I'm tired, but I'm proud of myself for doing it. And I'm curious if anything I was talking about resonated with y'all. What do you think? How do you stay positive? How do you stay grounded? How do you stay mentally in tune with yourself? Do y'all hike? Do y'all take baths? Do you goddamn go to spas? Do you have retail therapy? Do you go shopping? What's your thing? You know what I'm saying? And what do you? How do you create circles, tribes of positive people to keep around you? You know what I'm saying? What keeps you pushing to stay in tune with yourself, to be the best version of yourself? I'm curious. Hop in the comments. Damn, I guess it's the part where YouTubers be like, share, and subscribe. I want y'all to do that, but only if you actually really rock with what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Don't be spamming nobody shit. But like, share, and subscribe.